Well, that guy's a retard. But
Just love how you openly insult him. Like,
You're listening to the baddest show on the planet. Get your money right, get your game right, and everything in between. This is the Bad Hombre Podcast.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
it's so hard to actually find like very common points between Latinos because like it's such a different culture like everywhere. You know, even here in Colombia, it's like you travel to another place
Yep.
and it's like a totally different country, you know, like people are different, they talk different, you know, customs are different, food is different. Like it's astonishing.
Where are you from again?
I'm from Bogota, but I've been all over the country. I
You
grew
take
up in
somebody
Venezuela,
from.
actually.
Oh, you grew up in Venezuela.
Yeah,
Nice. But you were born in Colombia?
I was born in Colombia. I moved to Cucuta when I was like a year and a half old or something because like my parents were like not getting along. So I moved back to Cucuta with my grandparents, and we had to leave the country because like we were about to get kidnapped. You know, like there was some heavy shit. You know, like I was actually like surprised when I was thinking about it, like 20 years later, and I said like, "Yo, I have been displaced by violence." You know, like not in the same way that a lot of poor people have, but I was, you know, like I had to leave the country because of the conflict, you know, because of the guerrilla and all of that.
That's so interesting, man. I mean, we a lot of us go through that too, right? My mom grew up in Nicaragua,
Wow.
and she right at the border. Like she was born in Costa Rica, but she lived in Nicaragua. But then La Guerrilla, not La Guerrilla, Ortega, I think it was his
Yeah.
name. Because when she's talking, she's like, "Yeah, cuando la guerra, cuando," and she's got stories. I'm sure you have stories too, but
Oh man, a lot.
people
Like,
on the streets.
yeah, I think a lot of people in the country, like, if not mostly 80% of the country has a story related to violence, you know, and displacements and
And you were so young too, so I'm sure you saw things that you shouldn't have seen at that age.
well, I remember some things when I was little that were like kind of sketchy, you know, like I remember this one time I was like my grandma was going to go get a haircut or something. That was back in Cucuta, you know, that's right on the border with Venezuela. And I remember that as soon as we got out of the car, I was like, I'm talking about early memories, you know, like I'm talking about I was like 3 years old or something. And then all of a sudden, like she's trying to hurry me, you know, like hurry up, come here. And she's trying to grab my hand. And she like pulled me into the hair salon and everything. So and I was just like standing there, you know, and like I didn't know what was happening. And this dude, all of a sudden, he shows up, and I remember he was sweating like really profusely, and he sounded kind of scared, and he was like very anxious, you know, like you just see it in his face. And he said, like, you know, in Spanish, he said something like, "I'm selling these umbrellas that I want you to see." And my grandma was like, "But where are your fucking umbrellas at?"
Yeah.
And the dude was like, yeah, I have him right there. And she was like, "Nah, go away or I'll call the police and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to call you." But, you know, I just have like that very early memory. And I didn't relate it to anything negative until I thought about it like years later. And I was like, yo, my grandma just saved me from like being kidnapped or something.
Wow, bro, sketchy shit happens back home.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like, I don't know, 9 or 10. We on Sundays we have in Costa Rica, in where I'm from, in San Jose, like there's like La Feria de Agricultor, like the farmers market.
Hmm.
I remember I went with my mom, and Yeah, there was a we had like a whole bunch of fruits and stuff. So we were taking a taxi. We're taking a cab. This other guy is like helping us. And we was like, "Oh, you're so kind." He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be $500. No, 500 colones." But like the way he says, like, "Sí, son 500 colones." It's like a dollar,
Yeah, like
$1.
yeah, like it's nothing.
Yeah, señorita, son 500 colones. Mom was like, "What do you mean?" It's like we didn't have it. And
Yeah.
bro, like the guy had like a machete on his fucking hip. And if it wasn't for the taxi driver, that was a little bit of a tough guy too. Like I don't know what would have happened, bro.
Whoa, that's crazy.
But it's just like I don't know why I was just thinking about that the other like couple days ago. I was like, yo, what the fuck was that about?
What the fuck just happened?
You know when you whatever when you like smoke weed or whatever, these pathways like they go. Because here's the thing about memories. Your memories are there, but just like a Google Chrome browser or like you have bookmarks, sometimes you lose the bookmark, but the website's there. You just have to
Yeah.
find the right way to get there. But you ever notice how when you access it, when you get the link or the book, a lot of the memories, the link is broken, but the memories are there. You get the right link, it links you to all these other memories. Sometimes, and I'm not saying everybody should do this, but like if you ever to take like a psilocybin mushroom or you microdose, like it opens different pathways. You're able to access even by meditation. You know, like you do a isolation tank or sensory deprivation tank. You go places that you've been either suppressing or things come up and
Yeah.
and once you unlock that and you fix that broken link to that memory, a lot of them are gonna come up, and some of them you'll be like, that's why I'm still afraid of this thing. This is why I have commitment issues. This is why, this is
Yeah.
why I have all this fucking problem.
But you know what's so cool about psilocybin? Like I mean, like I'm a living example that it cured my depression completely. You know,
Mhm.
like I used to be clinically depressed. Like I used to wake up feeling like shit for no reason. You know, like I just don't want to do anything. I just want to lay down and drown myself in cigarettes and weed. Like that's what I wanted to do. And I remember I took this heroic dose once with a homie back in Villaleba. Villaleba is a town here in Colombia, in Boyacá, that is very famous for the shrooms. I had never tried them. And I met a buddy that he was like, I mean, he's like a very experienced psychonaut, if you know what I'm saying. So like, he
Like a
had
shaman almost.
catch yeah, totally. He catch some mushrooms and he had dried them in the sun and everything. And we started taking them gram by gram, like every half hour. So by the time there was like 3 hours, we had taken about 5 grams of mushrooms.
That's the heroic dose. Yeah.
That's the rogue dose. And then we took off to like this waterfall that was like near it. It was an amazing experience. Like I had never lived through something like that. It was absolutely magical. And ever since that day, I haven't been depressed forever. And
Wow.
I even talked to my dad about it. You know, he's a neurologist. He's a neuroscientist. And I told him like, Dad, like I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, but I had this experience, and like I feel like my depression has been cured. You know, like I haven't been in a breakdown for so long. And he actually showed me the papers. You know, like psilocybin is starting to get used as a standard procedure for treating with depression patients, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
there's a lot of research coming up about
hmm,
how good it is. I mean, it can get out of hand. The one negative thing about that is how fast you build tolerance. So I wouldn't do it every day. Like
no,
I do it every once in a while because you can get your tolerance pretty high, and then it becomes
totally.
effective, right?
And then it also becomes vague, you know, like there's
It,
no real reason for doing it. Oh, and the point that I was reaching to with psilocybin and depression is that what psilocybin does to me is that whenever I take a microdose or whatever, like every once in a while, I really don't do it that much. But ever if I do it, it's just like if they were showing me like in this really passive way, like this non-judgmental way that is like, hey, you fucked up in this time, remember? Like you were talking about this and you were having these attitudes and that's not good, brother. You have to fix that. So you're able to look at yourself and just not punish yourself like so much, like, oh my God, I fucking said this thing, blah blah blah. You're always like blaming yourself for shit.
You know, I find that weed does that
Yeah.
to me.
Really?
It makes me paranoid and it makes me second guess myself and it makes me like, oh my gosh, should I delete all my stuff? This is so embarrassing that I posted a podcast when I talked about how I talk to girls or how I do. Oh my God, look at this. Because bro, I try to make a fool of myself on social media, because I don't know. I troll. I like to stir the pot. I'm a shit disturber. And like I work in sales, so half the time I'm here. Like I work from home, right? So I this is the headset I use. So I'll be like doing sales call, and I'm like listening to objections and objection handling. But half the time I'm on my phone. Yes, Mr. Customer. Yeah, yeah. And what if we can do this? And then I'll just do stupid shit on Facebook and I'll just share it. But fuck, I forgot what I was going to go with. But the point is, I find that weed makes me so embarrassed. So those things, like, holy shit. But then I realized one thing, man. Like, I think it was like the 1840-60 rule or something like that. And it's like at 18 years old, you think everybody's thinking about you. At 40 years old, you know that people might think about you, but you don't care. And then at 60 years old, you realize that people are just thinking about themselves. So, like, who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're not that important, We're just a little speck of dust in the universe,
In the universe, man. And I was obviously Donald Trump is a very polarizing figure, and whether you like him or not, I think we can all agree that he's probably the most attacked in person. There's a lot of it, but even he said,
yeah,
that as bad as a scandal can be, is a 1 week phenomena. It could be the biggest scandal in the world. It'll be a 1 week phenomenon. It will not go on after a week. It just dies down. You talk about fucking Lewinsky. I mean, especially now, fucking Will Smith. That's a huge thing. Slapping nobody's. I don't know. Last time it was
that dude is crazy, bro.
That was crazy, but it was a 1 week. Things died. The Haktua girl dead. All that stuff. We go through so much. So we think like, oh my God, it's a world like people are judging. It's like, no, bro.
They don't even remember what the fuck happened a week ago.
They don't.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm realizing. Is like, dude, like just do the things, man. Do what you go talk to that girl. Like go and do something, because the worst thing that can happen is you're gonna end up the same position you are now, and whatever you were trying to do and failed, it's gonna be forgotten in a week from now.
And
So
you're just gonna be regretting shit like, oh, why didn't I do this and why didn't I do that? Why didn't I talk to that girl? I had a life-changing experience last year at the end of last year because I almost had a stroke. Like I almost died.
Wow.
Yeah, like I had an artery dissection, which is basically like this very weird injury that you could get at your artery. It was right here at the carotid.
Ooh.
And it was just because of a cough. I was just sitting on my bed. I coughed, and then I just felt like this hard pain in the back of my throat.
Oh,
Like
fuck.
when have you ever felt that pain when you yawn and you feel like you get a cramp over here? Like you just get a neck cramp, or you just try to stretch yourself. Well, I tried to stretch myself and nothing happened. And then I started to get worried because I could feel like this heavy headache that just climbed to the back of my head, to the base of my skull, went
Oh,
all up here to my head, and it just landed right here on my forehead. And I was like very optimistic. I was thinking at that moment, like maybe I could just, you know, breathe it off or something. Like I'm just
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
lay and breathe. I went over to the patio. I had some clothing, some laundry to do, so I was just hanging some clothes. Like all of a sudden, this piece of clothing just falls to the floor, and I went up to pick it, and my vision got blurry just like when you stand up like too quickly, like your vision gets a little blurry, but it just got blurry in my right eye,
Oh, fuck.
and this really heavy headache just started, building inside of me, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is some serious stuff," like I could die.
Yeah, yeah.
So straight to the hospital, everything. Like my dad looked at my MRI and he said, like, "Yo, you're like you're alive because of a miracle. I don't know why the fuck you're alive right now, or not a vegetable. Like you're like 2 centimeters away from having your brain completely locked out of oxygen, and that could have
Whoa.
been really bad." So
Wow.
after that, I just thought to myself, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Like I'm just not gonna wait and die, or be a vegetable or whatever to do the things I want, to to do whatever the fuck comes out of my balls. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm being too
No.
grosero. I don't know, but like it's either that or live full of regret. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to have regrets in their life, and I just realized that I was being limited by so much stuff, either from me or from the people around me that were just telling me not to do something. And I was like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want. And it's working great. It's working great for me. So I'm super happy.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of perspective when you feel like, holy shit, like I could have been gone. So your mortality,
Totally.
it's a big, it's I don't know, it's a big motivator too, right? And it's also
Totally.
that's the worst. That's the worst that can happen. Like, I mean, but the thing is, you didn't prevent it. You stopped it. You delayed it, maybe for 50 years, 60 years. But we all gonna die.
Yeah, totally.
So
But
why not?
life is fucking cool. Like
It is
it's the
cool.
only thing that we get to do. It's
Yeah.
fucking great. I want to live it as great as I can. I want to have all the fun I can and do whatever the
So,
fuck I want.
so what does a good life mean to you? What does a good life look like for you?
Well, this is what I'm working for, actually. Like my dream life, what would it be? I think it's the Colombian dream. Have you heard about it?
No.
Well, the Colombian dream is something that's been going on in social media for a while from Colombian people, and they're like, fuck a life of luxury, fuck all the expensive cars. Like, I just want money so I can buy a piece of land and, have some fruit trees and live in peace with whoever I choose to be with, and just be like in touch with nature out of all this digital stuff and everything. Like
Yes.
I think digital stuff is just fucking up people's minds, man. It's making us way less smart and just unreliable people everywhere.
I'm curious to see what the brain looks like. The brain of a person that mostly lives online compared to the brain of a person that in the 70s or 80s that were outside most of the time. Um, if you noticed, the richest people, the people that build the apps, the people that make money on this, what's happening on the screens, they live in the real world. They don't live on the screens. It's
It's
it,
true.
it's the people, it's the people that don't live in the real world that they're on the screen. And if you notice this one thing is that back in the day, like I remember playing Sims and Grand Theft Auto and all these games, and you did the silliest, the stupidest things. You did them on the game, right? You Grand Theft Auto, you get out of the car, you punch a hooker, steal her money, get on the car, and go. And these things didn't matter because that was a game, and then you went on and you lived in the real world. But if you notice, people are going in the real world, recording themselves doing the craziest things because now the online world is the reality. That's the real
Yeah.
reality, right? So when you're looking at them, it's like, oh, look at what I did in the real world, but like I'm in this reality, and it's so fascinating to me that you're in this world now, that you're looking at the real world, like, oh wow, I'm gonna go in the subway and yell, wow, and just be like this. That's the shit that I would do in a video game because I will go in
Yeah,
the real world.
it's
But
crazy.
now it's the other. It's shifted. It's the other way around now. It's like people like don't care. They just want to live in the real in the virtual world, and
They're
that's just
just craving for those likes, bro.
it's kind of sad, man.
Yeah, it's very sad. You know, there was actually a case here in Colombia from a girl called Epa Colombia. I don't know if you've heard about her.
No,
She was a girl that got famous because of the stupidest video. You know, I mean, that's the Colombian equivalent to Haktua, you know, something like
okay.
that. And she just recorded herself like doing some very awkward videos, supporting the Selección Colombia and the football thing. And she started doing like some Epa Colombia shit, you know, and she was just Epa Colombia. That's how she's known nowadays. And when there was that was like 4 years ago about el estallido social here in Colombia, that people, you know, were just angry about a lot of shit and people just got to the streets and started wrecking everything.
Oh, I
She
remember that.
recorded herself. She went out with the team and she started destroying public property. like like you know, like it's nothing. And she just got indicted and she just got incarcerated and everything. Like 4 years later, because like Colombia said, like, yo, this is
And they're gonna make
unforgivable.
an example of her, right?
Totally. Like, why would you record yourself in that situation? That's just fucking stupid.
The reason she did it is because she wanted to record herself. You know how many
Yeah.
people, bro? I think people would do half the stuff they do if they weren't able to post it. If you were not allowed to post, you wouldn't have. The people would take half the vacations they take. They would go to
Totally.
half the restaurants. They would probably not date the person they're dating, or go to the like. I'm looking at people. I'm like, yo, you only did these things for the Instagram story. Like, I know you don't like this. Like, I know you don't
Yeah.
like hiking. You don't like hiking, bro. Like, I know that. I know, I know, like a boat. Like, I mean, a boat once a month, like every day. Like, I listen, bro. Nobody, this you can't tell me you enjoy this. It's just it looks cool on Instagram. Like it's a movie. It's peliculeros, I call them. You living a movie, but like the reality is, if you were not able to post this, you wouldn't do it. Why don't you? And this is why my social, I when you look at my socials, I try not to do that. I just like I don't need to. Like I don't. I listen. I like attention, just like the next guy, but the right kind of attention. I want attention to say, "Wow, a video went viral because what this guy said, resonated with me. Like your story about, you had this moment where you could have, be a vegetable and now you want to live. And then that goes viral. That's a cool way to get attention because you get the right kind of attention. You get good vibes. But if you go out with like a swastika shirt and start like doing all kinds of shit, you still get attention. It's just stupid attention. And people are just going for the latter because it's easy to do, right?
It's easy. It's very easy to be famous nowadays.
Oh, it's
Actually,
easy. Very easy.
like in the 70s, it would be hard. You know, like before in the 50s or whatever, it was hard to get noticed. You know, like you would actually have to go to like radio stations and like a bunch of things or just be like a very talented person to even get. And sometimes it would be only like very local fame, you know.
Yeah.
People like there were artists playing at the same time in the US in the 50s that didn't even meet each other, and they were both like in the top charts of their town, you know, but they just didn't know each other.
Yeah.
And but nowadays you just fucking say you just got a hot two on that thing, blah blah blah. So
Get on that thing.
spat on that thing, and then you're famous. You know, it's so easy. It's so easy. You just gotta have some stupid shit for the masses. That's it.
You know that I didn't mind the Hacktua phenomena because
She was my queen, bro.
it was the thing is she didn't ask for it. It came to her. Like that's how she was, and she did it. She's not the ones that I don't like are the ones that are like you can just tell like they're just doing it for the attention or when they cheat their audience, they lie to their audience, and it's just like, man, come on, bro. Like I've seen people like people getting recorded giving money to homeless, and they're like, "Hey, here you go," and there's like a camera crew, and the homeless guy takes it, and but he didn't react well, and the person's like, "Okay, look, give it back to me, but I need you to be more happy," because I'm like, "You're doing takes on a charity."
Can you imagine being the person that they're helping and like, yo, do you want to get help? Like, I can give you $200. Do you want them?
Yeah.
And you just put the camera on their face. It's so that's psychopathic, bro.
And it's called what do you call that? There was a name for it. Fuck, man, it'll come to me. But it's a different type of narcissism. It's like there's different types of narcissistic personalities.
Yeah,
and that is like a charitable narcissism. I can't remember what it was, but essentially, is that type of narcissistic where look at me, I'm helping. Look at me, I'm fighting for Palestine. Look at me, Black Lives Matter. Meanwhile, but you don't care about the cost though. You want to make this about you. That's the problem. Half the time, these people that protest, what they're doing is they're making it about themselves, and that's where people have a problem with. You know, hey, listen, it's okay to be passionate about that. I'll be passionate about things, and if I don't know, I'm passionate. For example, this is a controversial topic. Okay, I cropping dog tails or ears. You know. I'm pro doing that. People hate it. Yeah, it's a controversial topic. I'm pro-choice though. I think that you should do it. I think you should do. I mean, I did it, so obviously I'm biased. But I think as the owner, I'm pro-choice on that. So I don't think it should be banned. But
I don't think nobody should give a shit about that, bro. Honestly.
A lot of people do. You'll be surprised.
Yeah. Like I used to be very sensitive about that, but bro, it's your animals. Like dogs are dogs, and they belong to humans, and you can do whatever the fuck you want with your dog, except mistreating it, of course.
That's the thing. I love dogs. You mistreat a dog, I'll kill. I love dogs so much, man.
Totally, me too, man. Like I love animals. Like my cat is sitting right next to me right now. Yeah. Like I could live with that, dude. I could live without that. Like I just love animals. You know
what's interesting is like, and I don't know if I'm out to lunch on this because I'm not perfect, but I knew a girl. She was like really judgmental that my dog got her ears cropped.
Yeah,
I explained like, hey, listen, the guy, Mr. Doberman, when he made the breed, did it for a reason. You could see whatever. You can make the argument, right? But I'm like,
yeah.
Wait a minute, haven't you had 3 abortions? Like you've killed like 3 kids potentially. What the fuck?
That's so hypocritical.
But God, for my body, my choice, right? Holy fuck! Yeah,
Oh,
man. Oh,
Jesus
shit.
fucking Christ.
I,
These
I
fucking
heard.
feminists, man. Like, I'm
Yeah,
so tired of this shit, bro. Like, even in my career, filmmaking, it's just getting worse.
yeah. So I know you wanted to go over that. What's you? I mean, I want to get into the topic of like wokeism affecting it because I know
Mm.
you wanted to go over that. I do feel the pendulum is swinging the other way.
I
Um,
do feel too. Like,
so,
yeah.
but talk to me about what you're seeing from your perspective.
Well, I think that the quality of movies has gone to shit in the past 8 years, like all these Marvel movies and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool, but those are movies for like 12-year-olds, you know.
When you say quality of movies, like how do you mean? Like the story,
I'm
the
Yeah, I'm talking about the quality of the story, like how original the script is. We're just seeing remake after remake of 80s movies because like that was the golden era of movies and like people loved 80s movies and 90s movies because they were honest, they were practical, like they were filled with emotion. Now it's just a thing of like if you can get me a black dude, a trans person, a gay character, blah blah blah, it's like a very forced inclusion. I'm not against inclusion, but I just think that inclusion should be named into something different, like inclusion is people using sign language, inclusion is making a movie that's so like the audio is so well made and its phonograph is so well made that even a blind person could understand it. That's being inclusive, you know. It's not about oh these people have a lack of representation and blah blah blah. Dude,
yeah,
if the story calls for it, if the function of that character is very clear in the movie and it's going to really seriously affect its path, I believe that it's worth it, but just for the sake of it, like I want to do a historically accurate movie based in medieval times where there's a black dude on the throne. Like that
the
just
Denzel Washington. That's like what's his? He's like he had a show recently, and I'm
the
love
Gladiator
Denzel.
movie.
Yeah, what the fuck, New Yorker? Hey, New York. Hey,
A New
yo,
Yorker, yeah, a very New
a
Yorker
black New
accent.
Yorker with that New Yorker
Yeah,
accent. And listen, I love Denzel. Denzel is my hero, bro.
totally.
If I could meet, I had heroes, and it's funny because they're all black, most of them. Uh, but they say not to meet your heroes. I mean, Kanye West was a hero. I don't know so much now,
Yeah,
but back in the
he's a
day,
very questionable human being right now.
Jesus walks and all. I'm like, this dude's my hero, bro. But it is. I like like 50 Cent. So like a lot of my heroes are black, but dude, they earned it. Like they weren't forced. You ever notice how like like the heroes, like the legends, the black legends were not forced inclusion.
Totally not.
You can't force Michael Jackson. He would have been the king regardless. Same thing with like Denzel. The same thing with Michael
Absolutely.
Jordan. You cannot force it. So why? Like, look how the most historical people in the world like have been, you know, minorities and things like that, and they were not like
They were not trying to
yeah,
be inclusive. They were not
no,
trying to bring, some new politics into
no,
whatever. They were
no, bro.
just doing what was right
They
for them.
fucking earned it, bro. Like Will Smith, he fucking did it. You didn't have to make him an inclusive hire for him to be who he is. And
Totally.
that's why they lost the plot. It's like, dude, there's so many
That's the
gay.
virtue of everything. Have you seen a movie Dallas Buyers Club with Matthew
Yes,
McConaughey and dude, that's a great use of a trans character. Like Jared Leto just did a great job with it.
yeah,
And it was really called for the story because they were talking about AIDS and the rising of AIDS, and like people didn't know if it was directly related to homosexuals or if it was related to drug use and all of that. So
yeah,
that really served a purpose in the story, like just to show the perspective from a person that was like really promiscuous and a person that was just related to same sex intercourse or whatever.
yeah.
You know, That's a really smart use of inclusive language or
Well, the
whatever,
script
but
called
just
for
for the
it.
sake of it, just because we need to have it like a gay character
Yeah,
over here. It's like it's
yeah.
so stupid,
I've seen shows, TV, and stuff where I've seen gay characters, but like you look at them and you're like, oh, this doesn't feel forced though. This person is a total fucking badass. Like, I can't think of any examples right now where the character was gay, but I know that I have seen them and they didn't feel forced. They felt like, wow, this person, this girl, like they're not trying to make a mockery out of anything. This worked. But I
Mhm.
do think, to your point about movies like from the 80s and 90s and they had more soul. I don't know if they were more willing to take chances back in the day. Because when you think
Absolutely.
about it, it's so you. I mean, you're in this space, so fuck, man. Like, let me put it this way: I'm a filmmaker. I want to make it in Hollywood, you know, and I get a shot. Like, fuck, man. Finally, I get a shot, and I get this funding, $100 million, and you're like, sick. Okay, so now these people are giving me $100 million. I get this team of people, right? And you have two choices: take a shot, a chance that if you don't come through, your like career's over, or redo fucking Mulan or fucking Lion King, and you're gonna have a guaranteed win. Especially if you have a controversial DEI that you use specifically to get free publicity. Like you're like, let's do all of these things, but instead of spending $100 million in marketing, let's make Snow White my brown girl, and let's make her say the stupidest shit that's gonna piss people off. Because now they're gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the fucking thing, and you know what? Because this happened with the Mermaid. I watched it, and it was a
Oh
great
yeah.
fucking movie. It was a good movie. It was just like they just did it. They fool people. They do all these things. You're like, okay, they got this girl saying that, oh no, Snow White is an independent woman, whatever. For all you know, they're just baiting you. You go watch the movie, and she's like the most sweet, submissive girl, But it's free publicity.
It totally is. Well, it's an industry,
It's an industry
like
business, bro. It's soulless
we have
business.
to understand that at first, like countries like Colombia really don't get that still. Like we're still in this era of like, oh, it's my movie. It's like a very romanticized thing, like I just want to make my movie and blah blah blah.
But I like that
And
though, because like the best, in my opinion, it's very. I don't know. It's a very close one, Colombia, Mexico. But the movies that you guys put out in fucking the stories that you guys are still not poisoned like the US.
totally. I think it's amazing that the government is actually giving incentives to filmmakers in Colombia just to make movies. That's great. The thing that I find annoying is that almost every way to make movies in this country is through like uh public budget. Like there are some, like for example, the town halls or the city halls that they just pull out, like I don't know how to say it, convocatorias. I don't know how to say that.
Right.
Like they just pull out some projects where people apply if they have a project going on, and they give you this budget. They give you this budget, but it's so hard and so slow.
Grants. Is it
Like what?
convocatoria? Is that like grants? No.
Yeah, sure. Grants. Yeah, it's like grants and like scholarships and things like
Right,
that,
right.
but it's like a very government linked thing, like you just have to comply with a
It's
lot of shit. And it's like all these
there.
narratives that are coming out, it's just like, oh, the women, like the empowerment of women in this communities, which I think is great, but what the fuck? I mean, what products are you pulling out? Who's watching this shit? Why are
Nobody.
you spending all that money to make something that nobody's gonna watch? And just like very select elites that they say like, oh my god, this is so interesting because all the profoundness and the concept and blah blah blah. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, You know you don't like that. It's very poorly made, and we just know that it doesn't have a future. So why give budget to those sort of narratives if they're not willing to train the people and to get it better and to do something more professional? It's like, all right, we just put out this money and this is all we're gonna do. But there ain't no future thought. Like, all right, if we make this, then if we send it to these festivals, maybe we're gonna get noticed. Maybe we're gonna get budget to do this other thing that we can pull out, and it is actually gonna have a wider audience and blah blah blah. That's not happening. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah, that's the problem, man. It's it removes the whole concept of being an artist and being free with your expression. Because when you have to answer to whoever is giving you the money, you have to draw
becomes
inside the line.
biased.
You have to draw inside the line, bro. You know,
Yeah.
you can't, and that's not art. Like that's not art.
Exactly.
That's just the complete opposite of art. So then you get this artificial product that is just, it doesn't taste genuine. It doesn't feel right. You could just tell like, oh my god, something's off. It doesn't have that, which is the reason why I'm doing YouTube, man, because you know I'm very rough around the edges. I have friends that are successful actors. You know, I knew this guy from Panama. We had a falling out, but he's a working actor. You know, he's been on shows, whatever. It's like, dog, I know you. I know there's things you can't say. There's people that message like, bro, I love that you're able to post these things because I can't post this because then I'm not gonna get cast for these things. And like, dog, it's like, well, if that means to me, I can't do that. So I'll give you a little story, man. It's happened like 5 times, and this is what prompted me to get serious with YouTube. And you know, I've been trying to get on YouTube for so long, bro, with the Spanish channel, this and that.
I've been there.
Yeah. So the guy, okay, so actors, they you know, they go on auditions, they do 100 auditions, they get rejected so many times, they book two commercials, make a little bit of money, but you have no work. And I've seen a lot of these cases in the last 10 years. There's been 5 people that I like we were friends. We used to do short films together, auditions together, stuff like that. They decided to start YouTube. One of them makes $1 million a year. Yeah. And I remember giving this girl a ride home. And I remember like helping this girl out with things, you know. She's making $1 million a year. She's making $100,000 a month, right? Doing YouTube. Yeah. That's freedom because now you can make your own films. You can do whatever fuck you want.
Totally.
The guy that owned the Spanish channel, the English version of that, we don't talk anymore, but like he's an idiot. But he's a fucking retard. But even as stupid as he is, piece of shit, he still makes 50 grand a month, you know, doing that. And sometimes Snapchat will hit him up and be like, hey man, can you know, and he'll make $60,000 in 2 months. So it's like, you know, I'm like, okay. And now this is a guy who like, yeah, 10 years ago, it was cool for him to talk about whatever was trending back then. Now he's in his 40s, late 30s. Maybe it's not cool. This thing's dying down. We try to revive it. It didn't work. But still, he still made millions. You know? So I'm like, oh, fuck. So I know these people. I've been in videos with these people. The guy fucking hired me to help him. Why the fuck am I not doing it for myself? I'm like, why am I spending people? And no offense, bro. You guys did a great job. We tried. But the thing that like if the caring for the project has to come up top. And if the guy who he didn't give me the budgets, he didn't give me whatever. So like now I'm gonna focus on me, bro. Like I've learned so much doing those things. I've been in videos with millions of views, and I've seen 5 people that I've worked with that are making 20, 30, and the most extreme example was that girl, $100,000 a month. I'm like, okay, now it's my time. I've been with these people, I've helped these people out, and now I'm just gonna do what I do, and I found my niche. It's a very unique niche, and I think and it's gonna work, and it's starting to work. I'm getting 5, 10, 20,000 views. Things are picking up.
Nice.
But
It's a matter of consistency, bro. You just have to be disciplined and keep uploading content. Some of those videos are gonna hit, and then you're gonna know what's good. And if you're constantly working on it, eventually it's gonna come.
but
I
here's
can
the
show you
thing.
that.
I know you kind of in the same page as me. It's not just about the money though, it's about the freedom. Because I don't want the money to go and buy a Porsche, bro. I want this
Totally,
thing to fund really, really good, high quality content where I'm like, fuck, because I love working with artists. I love this stuff. I love
totally.
putting up. So if I get a video that, if I'm in that position where my channel is doing $100,000 a month, you better believe I'm gonna put out content that looks like a fucking channel that's making $100,000 a month. I'm not gonna, you know. And this is,
Totally.
and anyway, I might not even leave this in the podcast, but when I'm looking at the position some of these people get into, like the guy with the before they're famous, it's like you telling me, bro, that all you had to do is show up, read a script, one script that was like a 10-minute video, and go home, and you were making 60 grand a month, and you fucked that up because
Yeah.
you like couldn't, like what? And
Uh, bro, I have some stories like you wouldn't even believe.
tell me one, bro, because you're the. By the way, one of the things that I love about you is like you're an amazing storyteller. So you gotta give me a story.
Thank you, sir. Well, I was working with this movie studio. Yo, by the way, is it okay if I smoke?
Yeah, man. Of course. I
Right.
should. Fuck, I don't have any here.
If you want to bring it, it's right.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I got roaches. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's the powerful stuff.
yeah, little
So,
pre rolls.
I used to work back in Medellin with this new TV studio, right? They hired me and another friend of mine so we could get it functioning, basically. Like, they basically bought like this whole bunch of equipment, like top notch stuff, like the best equipment that you could ever imagine for a TV channel. They just had it available and it was just fucking great. So we were like hitting it off, but these people were like the kind of people that just have like a lot of money and they don't know what the fuck to do with it. So they just decided like I'm gonna make a TV station. Like I guess it's pretty easy. And like 3 months in, this guy and I were just like running that whole place together, like with no help. We're trying to request more people to work with us. Like we need at least some production assistants and like a sound guy. And we requested those things, and these people looked at us and they're like, "Do you need masseuse? I mean, like, do you want to have a massage too every day?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking
Wow.
about, bro? Like, this is a collective effort. Like, there's no way that a single person can do everything."
Yeah.
And they were trying to like gaslight me, saying like, "Dude, you're so good. You're so good that I bet that you could do like a whole movie by yourself." And I was like, "No, I can't."
They're squeezing.
Like, there's no fucking way I can do the whole thing by myself. But anyway, it was a TV station that didn't have like a commercial department.
Mm.
There was nobody selling no shit. They just thought that if we put the content that we made in the TV and blah, 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 like things would just work out. And they soon realized that we were like busting our asses off. Like we had made over like 230 audiovisual pieces for the channel. And we were filling out less than 30% of a grid that we were supposed to fill. So it was like very stressing. And at the end of it, they were scammed by so many people, bro. Like, you have no idea how stupid these people were. Like, every single person that wanted to take out something from them was fully available to. Like, This guy and I, like my homie and I, were just the only idiots, as opposed that we're not taking advantage of them and not taking their money out of them. Because like we were doing completely like honest job, like we were producing things every day. We were practically like the only department in the whole channel that was running.
Hmm.
It got to be so frustrating that they hired this dude. Like they were so desperate for money, and every single monthly meeting, it was like another month without making money. What's wrong with this shit? We were like, well, we don't have a commercial department since we've been asking you to set it up since the beginning of a channel, but they just never listened to us, like our opinion was never worth it. And they hired this dude that he was a total scammer. Like you could just tell by the way this dude talked, bro, that he was like a con artist. He was just a con artist, and he was just taking a role of pretending that he knew a lot of shit, where he was just as ignorant as a fucking duck in the thing, right? And this dude ended up working there for like 3 months. He took out like about, in that time, it was about like $15,000 out of these guys in 3 months.
Wow.
Just pretending that he was going to be like the new manager and that he was going to try to look for new business and new ventures and stuff. He never did shit. And he saw me as a threat. Like the dude knew that I was good, that I was doing my job, and he just felt threatened by it because like he knew that he wasn't doing anything. So he needed to attack me to have no one around that could challenge him, right? That could challenge his knowledge. The dude grabbed me, like he took me in a meeting at the end of a month because of this failed meeting that he did because he was a fucking moron. Like he just didn't understand the business models that people were putting in our tables, or I think that he was just trying to dilate the times as much as possible for some stupid reason. I don't really know why. And he tried to kick me out, and he was like, I'm this close to firing you. I'm like, you don't have to fire me, dude. I quit. Like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm just tired of fighting, almost 2 years in that shit and not seeing any money. Like, they're struggling. My buddy had just, his kid, he had just had a kid like less than 2 months. And these people said, like, we can't pay you anymore. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You just gave $15,000 to a dude. Well, anyway, the channel failed. As it should have, like it was so poorly managed with the best equipment in the world, like the best money could buy, basically.
They were unconsciously incompetent, meaning like
conscious, totally.
Yeah, they didn't know what they didn't know, and that's what happens.
Exactly, bro. And that was extremely frustrating. So they ended up selling the thing for a piece of land, back in Antioquia or something. I don't know what the fuck was the land worth or something. And they scammed them. Like they took away all the equipment, all of the things that they had.
Oh my God.
And there was no piece of land.
And the Neverland.
Dude, it was so crazy. It was so crazy. Like I still talk about it with my homie. It was like it was almost 2 years of my life that I lost. Like I don't even know where the programs that I made are. Like I don't know who has them.
That's fucked up because, bro, I mean, even YouTube, bro, like, what the fuck? You still get some money from it.
Dude, they were like, no, but we want to do TV. And we were like, dude, TV's dying. People are watching TV.
Nobody's watching.
We have to go for digital media. We have to go for something else. And they were like, nah, I think TV still works and blah, blah, blah. Why the fuck did you hire us?
You'll put it on TV, but then put it on YouTube too, bro. Like,
exactly.
Hey, man, antes que fueran famosos, bro, that channel at its peak, man, like it was making $100,000 a year, like it's almost 150, and I know it was a grind for them, but it was making them money. I mean, like a tenth of what it makes in English. Unfortunately, I think I explained to you like how that worked and what I learned
Yeah.
with that experience. But even then, bro, like if you already have the content, put it out, bro. There was a
Put
video
it
they
out.
made about some guy, some singer in Mexico who like is doing a song, and he gets a note, and they tell him that they're gonna kill him, and so he sings, and they killed him. Have you seen that video?
That's an amazing video, bro. He just gives the best performance of his life.
Yeah. You know what?
It's amazing.
I'm gonna do it again in my channel. But like on Antes que fueran famosos, they had that video. That video made them like 10 grand, bro, because he had like 6 million views. So it's like, holy fuck,
I was very proud to be a part of that. Like, even if it didn't succeed, like I just really enjoyed making those videos. Like, I love doing the voiceovers and everything.
Well, that guy's a retard, but I
Just love how you openly insult him. Like,
it's just a lesson learned. The problem with this guy, it was insecurities and substance, so substance abuse will get you paranoid, right? So things will be going right. And I remember like, our videos are hitting, like, young Miko, whatever, like things are happening, like the video, we had some fucking bangers on TikTok and Instagram. I remember like, fuck man, like we did some good shit.
yeah.
And then this guy will message me at 3:00 in the morning. He's like, yo, I know you're using me. You're using me, bro. And at 3:00 in the morning, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you just want this because you want to be famous. I'm like, what? Like,
what are you talking about?
What are you saying, bro? Like, you came. He's like, I know you are, bro. Like, don't you? I know something's up, man. You're ripping. I'm like, ripping you off? How, bro? I'm like, I'm putting my own money on this thing, bro. You're only giving me like $500 a month. I'm paying like 5 people right now. Thumbnails, this video editing, voice, this, that. Like I had like a whole team.
Yeah.
I was spending at least $1,000 of my own money. You know what I mean? So it's like, he'll be like, yo, you're fucking me over, bro. And then I was doing some videos myself, and I'm like, if I'm in the video, faces in thumbnails work. And this is the biggest fight we had, right? And I'm like, okay, if you're making a video, you look at thumbnails on fucking YouTube, you put the face. And if the video is me, you put the face, my face. We put your face, everybody's face, Issa's face. I put my face like, yo, you can't put your face on the thumbnails. But bro, I made the video. You can't, bro. You're using me. You just want to use me to get famous.
Oh my god.
And then I'm like, you know what, bro? Go fuck yourself. If I see you, I'll knock you out.
That's just a lack of vision,
And anyway, I can't. We had a
So
fun.
dark, can't see a thing. I hear a song of the broken beat. Give me nickel, give me dime, give me the